Let's turn back the clock to the 2018 NFL Draft. 5 quarterbacks went in the first round that year. 2 of them would end up winning a combined 3 MVP awards so far. Another 2 are currently playing on $100 million contracts. And the final one is out of the NFL entirely. That would be Josh Rosen, who the Arizona Cardinals took with the 10th overall pick in the 2018 NFL Draft. After a subpar rookie year, the Cardinals immediately moved on from Rosen and took Kyler Murray with the number 1 overall pick in the 2019 NFL Draft. But what if Arizona passed on its current franchise quarterback and decided to ride it out with Rosen? This is PFF Rewrites. Let's first see how we got here and take it back to the 2017 NFL season. The Cardinals finished with an 8-8 record, their second straight year missing the playoffs. It was also the final year for quarterback Carson Palmer, who would retire following the year at age 38 years old. Head coach Bruce Arians also decided to depart the team after the season, and Panthers defensive coordinator Steve Wilks was brought on as the new head coach. With a glaring hole at quarterback and a really good quarterback class in 2018, Arizona decided to select UCLA's Josh Rosen with the 10th overall pick. It was a move that made plenty of sense at the time. Josh Rosen was the number 6 overall prospect on PFF's 2018 big board and was the number 3 quarterback behind Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold. The former 5-star recruit had an excellent 87.8 career grade across 3 years with the Bruins. Rosen's rookie year wasn't very pretty though. 49.1 PFF grade, that was 38th among 39 qualifying quarterbacks, and his 5% turnover-worthy play rate was the 4th worst in the NFL. He lost 10 of the 13 games he started, and the Cardinals would only have a 3-13 record overall, the worst in the NFL. As bad as Rosen was in his rookie year, his supporting cast was also pretty bad as well. The Cardinals had the worst pass blocking grade in the NFL in 2018 and was the 3rd worst team in both receiving grade and rushing grade. Arizona fired head coach Steve Wilks after only 1 season and hired a young hotshot head coach in Cliff Kingsbury from the college ranks. This is despite the fact that he was just fired by Texas Tech a couple months earlier after a 35-40 career record there. With a new head coach and the number 1 pick in the 2019 draft, the Cardinals had a massive decision to make. Will they stick it out with Rosen and try to surround him with more talent, or will they select the reigning Heisman Trophy winner in Kyler Murray with the top pick? And a really interesting wrinkle in that draft was the fact that Kyler Murray was actually a top baseball prospect as well. In fact, he was selected with the 9th overall pick in the 2018 MLB draft by the Oakland A's. And many were wondering if he'd even pursue football full-time or play out his baseball career, but he put those concerns to bed when he announced a couple months before the draft that he'd be focusing on football full-time. One day after that announcement from Kyler Murray, Cliff Kingsbury came out and famously said Josh Rosen was their guy. But even so, Cliff Kingsbury had a relationship with Murray that began 7 years earlier when he was recruiting Murray in high school. And while he was Texas Tech's head coach, he once told the media that Kyler Murray should be the number 1 overall pick in the NFL draft.
I'd take him with the first pick of the draft if I could. I know he signed up to play baseball, but he is a dominant football player, and I would take him with the first pick.
Kingsbury ultimately opted to start fresh with Kyler Murray and made him the number 1 pick in the 2019 NFL Draft. Arizona traded Josh Rosen just 1 day later to the Miami Dolphins for a 2nd-round pick and a 5th-round pick. That trade made Josh Rosen the only first-round quarterback in NFL history to be sent packing after only 1 season. But if Kingsbury meant what he said when he said that Josh Rosen was, quote, their guy, here's how it may have turned out for the Cardinals. To start, Arizona likely would have taken Nick Bosa with the number 1 overall pick in the 2019 NFL Draft. Bosa has been extremely successful so far, winning Defensive Player of the Year in 2022, making 5 Pro Bowls and earning a 93.3 career PFF grade so far. So, with Josh Rosen as the quarterback and the Defensive Rookie of the Year in Nick Bosa, how would Arizona fare in the 2019 season? The Cardinals' offensive line did improve dramatically, going from the worst pass blocking grade in 2018 to the 9th best in 2019. but the receiving core remained the 6th worst in the league with a 67.7 receiving grade. Still, it's hard to see Josh Rosen really outperforming Kyler Murray, who won Offensive Rookie of the Year in 2019. After finishing with a 5-10-1 record with Kyler Murray, it's fair to expect Arizona to finish with a slightly worse record at 4-12. So, in the 2020 NFL Draft, instead of picking number 8 overall, they would pick number 5. The 2020 NFL Draft, a lot like the 2018 NFL Draft, was an excellent quarterback class. And with Josh Rosen struggling once again in year 2, it's unlikely he would have gotten a year 3 as a starting quarterback. So with that 5th pick, the Cardinals will take Alabama quarterback Tua Tagovailoa, who was originally picked 5th by the Miami Dolphins. In the 2020 season, Kyler Murray is one of the 15 most valuable quarterbacks in the NFL, while Tagovailoa took some time to get going in Miami. Murray was worth about 1.5 wins more than Tagovailoa that year, according to PFF's wins above replacement metric. So instead of finishing with an 8-8 record that year in Arizona, it's more likely that the Cardinals finished somewhere around 6-10. That takes them from the 16th pick in 2021 to about the 10th overall pick. There, it's possible that Arizona could have addressed their need at wide receiver by taking Alabama wideout Devontae Smith, who's become a top 20 wide receiver in the NFL. Murray was once again one of the 15 most valuable quarterbacks in the NFL in 2021 and was worth about 1 win more than the trio of Tua Tagovailoa, Nick Bosa, and Devontae Smith, according to our WAR metric. So instead of an 11-6 record, the Cardinals would go 10-7, but still make the playoffs. Murray would miss significant time in both 2022 and 2023 due to injuries, and that also coincided with outstanding years from Tua Tagovailoa and Nick Bosa. Tagovailoa was actually the 4th most valuable quarterback over those 2 seasons, according to our WAR metric. Bosa was 3rd in that same metric for edge rushers, and Devontae Smith was even 11th in WAR for receivers over those 2 years. So what does that really mean? Instead of going back-to-back 4 and 13 years in 2022 and 2023 that would eventually lead to a new head coach in Jonathan Gannon, it's completely feasible that Arizona would make the playoffs in both those years, and Cliff Kingsbury might still be the head coach to this day. Now, that would, of course, mean that Arizona misses out on guys like Paris Johnson Jr., the offensive tackle, and wide receiver Marvin Harrison Jr. in the 2023 and 2024 NFL drafts. And this past season, Kyler Murray returned to form and returned to a really fully healthy season, and it was also a year where Tua Tagovailoa missed 6 games. So because of that, the Cardinals likely would have lost a couple more games and finished with a 6-11 record and a slightly higher pick in the 2025 NFL Draft. Now that we went over what would have happened if the Cardinals stuck with Josh Rosen, what would happen to Kyler Murray? It's highly unlikely that he would have gone 2nd overall in that 2019 NFL Draft. In fact, before the draft, 49ers head coach Kyle Shanahan and general manager John Lynch both said that they would not be selecting a quarterback in the 2019 draft and would instead ride it out with Jimmy Garoppolo. So with that 2nd pick, the 49ers could have traded down to a team that was desperate for a quarterback like the New York Giants. The G-Men used their number 6 pick in the draft to reach on Daniel Jones in one of the most shocking moves in draft history. With Murray on the board at number 2 and the 49ers very content at quarterback, New York may have thrown a king's ransom at San Francisco for the 2nd pick. So just to recap, the Cardinals sticking with Josh Rosen instead of Kyler Murray could have meant that Arizona ends up with players like Tua Tagovailoa, Nick Bosa, and Devontae Smith. And Murray could instead end up on the New York Giants. As for Rosen, he still would have flamed out in the NFL and still goes to business school. That'll just kind of be a year or 2 later in this fictional world. But this has been PFF Rewrites.